NASA warns that the suffocating haze blanketing Southeast Asia for the past several weeks may worsen and become the worst ever recorded in the region. Illegal slash-and-burn farming in southern and eastern Sumatra, as well as on the island of Kalimantan, causes Indonesia to endure annual bouts of hazardous smog. The expansion of small farms and the growth of palm oil or rubber corporations in recent years has intensified forest fires in the country. The haze caused by this year's fires has spread to various parts of Indonesia and has deeply impacted air quality in Singapore and Malaysia.
Hi, good morning everyone. I'm Raza from BBC reported live from Singapore. Today, the conference on the plantation, land management, fire and haze in Southeast Asia is held in Singapore. The conference is chaired by the representative of UNEP and is participated by 5 ASEAN countries to discuss the issues regarding the haze was started in Indonesia. So let's take a look on the conference in the hall. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here to gather the ideas through the conference on plantation, land management, fires and haze in Southeast Asia. I am HAZIQA FILDZA, the representative from UNEP, United Nations Environmental Programme. In 2011, fires in forests occurs in Indonesia in the dry season every year, particularly in the provinces of Riau, West Kalimantan, Jambi and Central Kalimantan. The haze that spreads to other countries is mostly caused by fires on peatland. Today, we have 5 representatives of ASEAN countries, which are Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore, Brunei, and Thailand. Thank you. So, we open our discussion with the representative from Malaysia, Mr. Muhammad Shafiq.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to all respected representatives of ASEAN countries. Alright, okay, today I would like to stress on the causes of the haze. Alright, first of all, one of the causes of the haze and fire are made by human, which means that, in other words, we can say as a man-made. So it has strong evidence that the causes are linking with oil palm companies which have started in Indonesia, and I repeat, is Indonesia. Many plantation companies were setting fire to both peatlands in other areas for land clearing activities, which means that they want to maximize the profit to gain their activities. Alright, based on WWF study, Indonesia has 65 to 80% in the burnt forested area, which was in Kalimantan, which located in Indonesia also.
Treating headache, throats and dry coughs. However, persons with medical problems like asthma, chronic lung disease, chronic sinusitis, allergic skin conditions will be more affected, and children and the elderly in general are more likely to be affected. So I'll come up with the case that happens in Indonesia in 1997, which is it is estimated that 20 million people in Indonesia suffered from the respiratory problem. And in my country itself, which is in Singapore, in 2013, we faced the hazardous level of the PSI, which is 401 PSI in our country due to the haze occurred in these regions. So I would love to stress out that this fires and haze issue does not give any benefits to these regions. Thank you.
Mr. Representative from the Malaysia, I agree that haze and pollution have nothing to us. But you must know that the slash and burn technique give benefit towards our citizens. In Mexican country has used this technique along a past million years, and you said that there is no benefit from this technique. You are really wrong, really wrong. First, the layer of ash provided from the slash and burn technique give the nutrients towards the new crops, which is the palm tree, which the Indonesian companies has been used. It had to improve the biodiversity of the nutrients in the soil. So, if without the slash and burn techniques, the economy of our country, our Indonesia country, will be low. Can you, Malaysia and Singapore, help our country to increase our economy again? No, you only here to blame us. That's all.
Sawadika, I'm Raja HAFIZ, representative from the Thailand. I would like to support the explanation given by the Indonesian representative. It is stated that 60 billion of the economic development comes from the plantation activities. And in Indonesia itself, they produce 33 million ton metric of oil palm with the use of the 8 million hectares of their land. And their government estimate that by the year 2020, they will use 13 hectares of their land to produce the oil palm. This is because they have to fulfill the demand comes from the China, comes from the from India, Singapore, and also the Netherlands. So from these activities, they will boost up their economy and also to prevent their country from being one of the bankrupt country. That's all.
Okay, Assalamualaikum, very good day. I bid you all. As member of ASEAN country, I, representative from Brunei, would like to give a few recommendations pertaining to the environmental law. As we all know, environmental law is important to protect and to preserve our environment. So I would like to ask representative from Indonesia, does your country have law regarding to this issue?
Okay, thank you, Miss Representative from Brunei. Yes, in Indonesia we have a regulation for the slash and burn technique. It is stated under section 32/2009 on the Protection and Management Act, and also we have a punishment and prison for the companies who disobey for the rules.
Okay, thank you, representative from Indonesia. Even though we have the law, I believe that by changing the law or strengthen the law will give a better result for the issues. So my recommendation is the law must be changed and strengthened. The Indonesia country government should impose and enforce ban on fire on land. Besides that, Indonesia should improve spatial planning to protect the land. In addition, I believe that the government must ensure that any development involving large-scale land took place only on land that already deforested. Last but not least, my recommendation for Indonesia is using the advancement of technology can help to avoid this situation from repeating itself. For example, by using remote sensing technology and digital mapping can support to predict and detect the potential fire crisis. I believe that by strengthening the law, it can help to solve this issue.
As a representative from UNEP, let me tell you one fact. Since 1982, Indonesia has faced with the problem of haze caused by plantation activities. There are 3.6 million hectares of tropical forests were destroyed. At that time, this fire was described as the worst fires the world had ever seen. And Indonesia has 10 million hectares burned around Indonesia upon 2003. So, does anyone want to add on that point?
However, sometimes fire do happen on the peatland itself, especially during drought season. Peatland are good carbon sinks. Thus, when peat burns, carbon that was trapped is released into atmosphere, which will cause global warming and also climate change.
I agree with the explanation given by the Malaysian government. The forest fires should not stand alone to be blamed because of this problem. This is because 6.4 million of the metric tons greenhouse gases raised up to the atmosphere because of the United States, and it is about 25% of the world population. This will lead to the problem of the global warming and also the climate change, which can also cause the forest fires. The problem of haze will never comes to the end if all the countries around the world do not have a very good cooperation in overcoming this kind of problem. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Representative from the Thailand. First of all, I want to say that slash and burn technique, it is a system that is being used in Indonesia because it is more cheaper than the other techniques. The companies of palm trees use this technique for a long-term run for their margin profit. There's no such things such as aquaponic, hydroponic, or greenhouse technique for the palm trees. If any representative here can help our country to set up a new system, a new technique to replace the slash and burn technique, we will welcome you with our warm heart. Thank you.
Hello everybody. I know that Indonesia want to have a low budget and which is by using the cheaper ways in managing their plantations, but they need to understand that this fire and haze also may lead to increase of the cost for their countries, which is the haze causing fire can cause a multitude of damages that are locals as well as boundaries, which is not only to the Indonesia but also to the other regions. And this includes the loss of direct and indirect forest benefits, timber, agriculture product, and also the biodiversity. The fires also incur significant cost and carbon release to the atmosphere. Okay, some of the more direct damage caused by the haze includes damage to people's short-term health and also regional tourism during the haze. Severe haze weather can lead to long-term health damage, reduced crop productivity, reduced visibility, effective expenditure, and also the accidents that occurs. So what happens, as we know, in Indonesia, which this issue effects on their economy, in 1997 until 1998, the Indonesia lost about 20.1 US dollar billion, which is this is the result from the Indonesia itself, and also it can affect the Malaysia and Singapore and also Thailand, which is the smoke surrounded this country will affect the transport, economic activities of millions more people and resulting in billions more dollars of economic loss. Thank you.
Okay. Based on my observation, this issue occurred because of the behavior and attitude of the companies of the plantation. So, I believe that the companies must took their role in peatland and forest destruction. As we know, the Singapore and Malaysia are the headquarters of the 9 plantation companies that operating in Indonesia. So both of these government or country can help by ensuring that the company or the contractor respect the environmental law or respect the rule and regulation. Besides that, companies that operating in risky area need to recognize there is a problem and involved to be part to solve the solution. Thank you.
To all the representatives here, I would like to emphasize on the polluter pay principle. Again, polluter pay principle. It is enacted to make the party responsible for producing pollution, for paying for the damage done to the natural environment. This principle approach seeks to make it difficult for the responsible parties to escape damage. In a very simple words, who make the mistake, he will pay the mistake. He will pay the solution, how to overcome this problem. Thank you.
So we have arrived at the end of the conference. Before I conclude this discussion, does anyone want to add more? So there's no one. So let me conclude. This issue can be solved if we keep blame each other. Let us discuss on the solution rather than the problem. As said by Brunei representative just now, we should cooperate with each other to take responsibility because we live in the same region, which is ASEAN. Let me remind you, the law of ecology that taught us that everything is connected. When the haze starts from Indonesia, it will affect other countries. So, do think about other countries, Indonesia. For Singapore and Malaysia, don't keep blaming, but be responsible. Brunei and Thailand, thank you for your participation. With that, thank you to all. We end our conference.